Hey everybody, welcome back to Checkpoint on Campus, the official voice of college esports. I am your host, Noysii, joined alongside my co-host, Jacob Brothers. Jacob, what's up?
Hello, hello. I'm looking forward to talking about some video games.
That's right. And if you guys haven't remembered, make sure you guys log on to Looking for Group. That is the #1 comprehensive resource for college esports. If you're looking for a new program, if you're looking for a team to join, maybe you're just curious and want to see who are some of the top schools in college esports, Looking for Group is the place for you. Make sure you go ahead and log on to that at lfgroup.gg. Now, we want to definitely touch on college Call of Duty because this is one of the biggest esports leagues happening right now at the college level, and it's also super exciting. So we're bringing in our correspondent for College COD, Andrew Stevenson, about to hit us with that baritone. So Andrew, what's going on in the world of College COD, because Ottawa is still at the top of the pile?
Yeah, as you said, Owatta Gold for the 4 weeks in a row. They are sitting at #1 in the power rankings, which is phenomenal. One thing that I am noticing is that Herbie is one of their players here. He's not the captain, but he does have the highest KDA in hardpoint on the team, but has the lowest KDA in search and destroy. So what that shows me is that the balanced team that they have going forward is all based on trust, that they trust each other when someone isn't, competing well in one map or a certain gameplay. And what that shows me is that they have the possibility to go undefeated for the rest of this tournament. And I'm really excited to see what they can do.
Yeah, that's definitely coming in from Owatta Gold, because they do have two teams. Now, Owatta Black actually had a chance to play Uni Gold over the past week, very early this week. And Owatta Black looked just as competent. And I want to bring a exclamation point to Noysii from Owatta Black. Noysii is one of the top players in North America right now at the college level, performing very well, has the top KDA for control, and in my opinion is making the case for an MVP slot if there needs to be one. There definitely has to be a consideration for Noysii. His rotations are great. He never looks out of control, always in the right positions. Highest KDA across almost every map type for the team. I mean, this kid is absolutely brilliant. But Andrew, I want to talk a little bit about Florida. We have Florida in the mix. They got a couple big schools down there. What's going on in the Panhandle State?
So what I did look into is, like you said, Florida, they got a lot going on as always. There was a Battle of Florida, I like to call it. It did end in the map of Miami, ironically. It was the first major upset in the power rankings that we've seen. It came from number 16 E4 Knights, which they are on the rise, which is the University of Central Florida. They did upset FSU, Florida State University, as they forced a round 11 in search and destroy to overcome they're getting their 6th victory. So that in total, getting that 6th victory in search and destroy led them to get that final match point that they needed to actually secure that win. It was very intense. And again, like I said, seeing these upsets and seeing people drop from the top 25 is one of my favorite things. So I'm ready to see who deserves to be there at the top later on this year.
Absolutely. And Jacob, we talk a lot about Central Florida. This is a school that we've seen in many tournaments, seeing them being able to upset Florida State. You are a traditional sports fan as well, like myself. There's got to be a part of you that feels a little good when one of these smaller schools ends up knocking off one of these legacy, traditional sports programs like Florida State in esports. I mean, for me, I get excited about that.
Oh yeah, no, in sports world, there's nothing better than an upset. Especially when there's some school, kind of thinking that they're all this, and there's some other guy. It's like, what if I just destroyed you and just ripped the soul out of your body? But kind of actually talking about that competitive landscape, I still don't really believe in a lot of these teams, because I just found out, because I looked into all these teams before we started recording, and I guess it's not updated yet, but most of these teams have still not played a top 25 school. Like, they are just now starting. Owatta Black just played their first one. The 10th school has played more than the top 9 schools, and they played one school in the top 25. So I think when we move to the split format, it's going to be really interesting, because a lot of these schools are going to be very different 1 week later. Like things are going to drop dramatically.
Absolutely, and that's why I think is the brilliance of this sort of split format, where those top teams will only be playing the top teams.
Exposure.
Because listen, out of the teams that I've seen, Oregon, Owatta Black, Illinois Orange, those are probably the only 3 schools, maybe a couple more thrown in there, that I think are as good as their ranking shows, maybe even a little bit better. But I'm agreeing with you. I think you can't necessarily say that you're a top 25 school unless you've beaten other great schools. But we're going to end on one more note. There's a sleeper pick that you got here for us, Andrew. Tell us a little bit about that.
So my sleeper pick, honestly, I'm not lying, I've been picking with them, rolling with them since week 1, before they were on the power rankings, just because of the colors that I love there. Illinois Orange, they did actually face a top 14 team, SIUE Red, in the epic match. They did end in a 3-1 victory, so they did not sweep them. But that showed me that they did prove their undefeated streak and prove they do deserve being the top 10, as we're talking about that they have not played a top 10 team yet. But, from their record, it does show that they do belong there, and we're going to be rolling with them as for their sleeper pick.
And Illinois, also one of the top legacy schools for Call of Duty, always performs well in college COD. So we look forward to seeing them perform well. But by the time this show rolls back around, we should get a lay of the land of the actual second split. So we'll be breaking that down next week, where we talk about some of the top schools that made the cut and who may be the best of the rest. Who's going to be some of the top schools in that bottom half of the bracket. But we want to thank Andrew for joining us on the show this week to talk a little bit of college COD. Thanks, Andrew, and we're gonna have a lot more coming up for Checkpoint on campus.